Good morning and welcome to the PocketPCSoft.net iPAQ Data Messenger unboxing video. This is the second of some recent releases from HP, the first being the iPAQ Voice Messenger, which, as the name suggests, is aimed at those people who make more voice calls than they do emails or text messaging. I've been using this for a couple of weeks now. I'll be writing up a full review shortly. However, I'm much more looking forward to the Data Messenger, as I do a lot of email and text messages when I'm travelling. So HP's new styling seems to be that this black box with the welcome guide explaining what you get inside the box. There's an offer here for a free 30-day trial of Webraska, which is navigation software, which I'll be keen to try out, as I always use navigation software on my smartphones. As we come to expect from HP, we have the generic mains adapter here. You simply find the plug that corresponds to your country and slot that into the generic charger. So as I'm here in the UK, and I always seem to struggle to get these things out, I'm sure they make these things harder than they should be. There we go, we just take the generic adapter and slot it in. That also means if you're travelling, you can take for example, the American or the European standard with you and slot that in, which means you don't have to carry a travel adapter. On top, the USB socket to plug in, which means you can charge from a power socket as well. As we'd expect from HP, bundled headphone set, has a call start and stop button there included, and also includes the foam covers. The battery from HP, I'm just trying to see the size of this. Nope, I can't see the size of that. There, I'll have a look for that when I do the review of the unit and add that onto my website. So here's the iPAQ itself. This is the first iPAQ from HP that actually has a slide-out keyboard. So this is the first time they've ever entered this form factor. It's touchscreen as well. Very minimalistic styling when the keyboard isn't open, which I think looks rather attractive. Fairly thick, as you'd expect from a device with the slide-out keyboard. The key is ever so slightly raised on either side, which hopefully should make it easier for pressing. I find with these things, the first time you use them for the day or so, you don't really like the keyboard, then you get very quickly accustomed to it. There's the optical scroll button in the middle here, which you've also seen on the voice messenger. This allows you to scroll up and down, left and right, and also press to confirm. So there's very little moving parts in here, which adds to the user experience, but HP also say increases the mean time between failure of the unit because there's less moving parts to go wrong. So if we take a look around the actual system now, we'll see on the left hand side here there's volume up and down. I suspect that might be a mute button there. Let's see if there's a quick guide to the HP's what is what. Yeah, okay, so let's read through this list here. So on top here we have a proximity sensor, which I've not heard from HP before. It should be interesting to see what that does. Next to that up here we have the light sensor. There's two buttons down here. I don't know whether you can see on the video, they've got a tiny little green line there and a red line there, so that's call start, call end. We have the optical scroll pad we talked about in the middle. The Windows touch key again, and the OK key once again. Little moving parts there from HP. Looks like we have down here, if you can see, a tiny little hole which will be the microphone. On the left hand side there's the key guard button. This means if you're going into a meeting you can press and hold this and it'll lock the display and also the keypad, so there isn't any accidental calls being made. The volume up, volume down here, and then a messaging key down here. You can set this so it automatically takes you into Outlook messaging or into the voice commander application, which HP ship with their systems. Turning over to the right hand side, we have the micro USB slot here and also a headphone slot next to that. It's good to see that once again HP have separated these two. On some of the earlier models like the 914 and the 614 you couldn't charge and use a headset at the same time, which wasn't very convenient if you're running low on battery and had to travel somewhere. Down the bottom here is the camera key. It has a 3 megapixel camera built into the system. Turning over, we have the camera there, we have the flash, we have a stylus down the bottom, all very neatly hidden away. HP has started doing these expanding styluses. This is a 3-way expander now, which means they can fit the unit into the system a lot nicer, but it's also much more comfortable when you're typing or tapping with. It's also pretty snug in there, which is good, because on the 614 my wife's been using for some time, the stylus has a habit of dropping out. There's a speaker at the back here which looks as if it should give us some good quality on here. So just checking what else is in the box. We have the HP Getting Started guide, the Outlook and Windows Mobile 6 Professional CD, and also in here we will find HP are always shipping something from their iPAQ Choice software, which enables you to download some software for free. They give you a number of points and you can top these up if you want something else. This normally allows you to get something like a new user interface software for free, so if you don't like the standard Windows Mobile, which is a common complaint, you can download one of the SPB packages from the iPAQchoice.com software website. So I checked back, there's 1140 milliamp for the battery in here, so it'll be interesting to see how long that gives me in the real world. Just to line the system up with a few other devices that I have. So here we have the new iPAQ data messenger, the previous QWERTY keyboard generation, the iPAQ 914, and the current HP voice messenger. So as you would expect, the new data messenger is going to be ever so slightly thicker than the 914, and also it's going to be thicker than the voice messenger because the voice messenger doesn't have any form of keypad on it at all. So hopefully you can see that. All in all, the form factor looks pretty good to me. Small enough to get in your pocket, and with the keyboard usable enough to do some typing and some emails on there. Just to run through the specs of the system before I can start charging the device. Windows Mobile 6.1 Professional, 2.8 inch TFT, 320 by 240 touchscreen display. It includes Wi-Fi 802.11b and G, Bluetooth 2. It has the full range of mobile phone connectivity in here, so it's 3G, tri-band UMTS, HSD PDA, quad-band GCM, GPRS and Edge. It includes integrated GPS navigation with assisted GPS. HP include a number of software items on here, including an easy data connect software which sets up your data connections depending on the provider you're using, HP power save mode, keyboard backlighting. There's a light sensor in here as well. Apparently they're bundling an Opera browser in here as well, so it'll be interesting to see what that's like, and also some print drivers are coming in here as well. As we said earlier, 3.1 megapixel autofocus camera, will go up to 2048 by 536 QXGA resolutions on the pictures. The product weight is 160 grams. It has 128 megabytes of main memory and 256 megabytes of flash ROM. Finally, just checking inside the device. To remove the battery cover, you slide down using 2 thumbs, seems to be easiest made for me. Remove that. You can see the SIM slot here, and also the space for the micro SD card. So good news here, you don't need to be removing the battery or removing the SIM card to get access to the SD slot, which is always welcome news. So that's the end of the unboxing from PocketPCsoft.net. Stay tuned for a detailed review of this device once I've been using it for a couple of weeks. Thank you for watching.